Lee,
Here again.
how many times have you come to this festival?
I think this is the 6th time. I feel really sad that I didn't come to the first one, otherwise I'd have done the full set. But I love coming to Poland, and I love speaking to the Polish divers. And you know, the Polish divers are I think the new frontier. There's so many great divers now in Poland, and of course you've got the Baltic Sea, a secret like the Baltic Sea, and the fabulous wrecks you've got there. No wonder that you're producing some great divers. Yeah, I love coming to Poland.
And here you brought a story about something from much warmer climates, much warmer waters.
Yeah, the Aegean Sea, the BRITANIC, the largest sunken ocean liner in the world. Titanic sister ship, the bigger ship to Olympic, her sister, and Titanic. The biggest ocean liner on the seabed today. Words will never describe how big that shipwreck is. I couldn't do it. I tried to show a little bit of film here where we circumnavigated the entire wreck in one dive. 1,000 feet long, you know, 400 feet of water, 120 metres. It's a big dive, and it's a big wreck.
Why did she sink?
We discovered in 2003 that she sank as a result of hitting a mine that was laid by a German submarine, U-73, in November of 1916. But you know what? Cousteau's original expedition, many survivors on board said that they'd seen a wake of a torpedo. You know, others said they thought I saw a submarine, but yeah, was it or was it not? But the Germans always said that they'd laid a minefield, and we found those maps, and we found the minefield and an exploded mine. So we can categorically state that she was sunk as a result of a mine. She sank 3 times faster than Titanic did. There was a reason for that. In theory, she shouldn't have been. She should have been unsinkable, you know. The bulkheads inside were raised, so if one compartment was, say, for example, broken by an iceberg, let's say, yeah, and flooded, the remainder of the ship could actually still stay afloat, but not if the holes in those watertight doors open. For example, the watertight doors. The doors came open at change of shift for the firemen, the guys working in the boiler room. And you know, if they came out and the doors were open at the time when she hit a mine, well, the water would have just flooded through each compartment. And over the years, we've been going back to BRITANIC, and 2 friends of mine, Richie Kohler and Richie Stevenson, have been working hard at diving deep inside BRITANIC. I mean, it's dangerous. It's a brave dive, to find evidence of those doors open. And last year we found the ultimate evidence we needed. Entryway into boiler room number 5, which tells us she sank 3 times faster than Titanic because she flooded. Yeah, the bulkheads, yeah. The watertight doors open.
This time you brought here a presentation with diving with many different, not only with divers, but also with different machines. Yeah. You dived with fancy submarines.
Yeah, modern technology, man and technology coming together like a science fiction movie. But yeah, we're using the submersibles now from the U-boat navigator, some Russian friends of ours. They're doing some fabulous exploration to some extreme depths and coming back with some amazing footage. And we worked with those guys, and they're making a documentary about BRITANIC, which is going to be distributed soon. Huge budget documentary with actors in, but fantastic to work with the technology. You know, it's like that one dive that we did, I called it the $1 million dive. You know, millions of dollars worth of submersibles, technology, ROVs, remote operated vehicles, all down there working with the divers. You couldn't have made it up. I couldn't have written it. I couldn't have dreamt it as a schoolboy. You know what? I went down on that dive and I came out of the water and I said to Richie Kohler, my friend, that was like diving into a science fiction movie. And he said, no, Lee, what you just did there was science fact.
So in the submarine there was your friend Richie Kohler, and I think he could be jealous for your dive because you had this beautiful dive on this wonderful shipwreck.
Yeah.
And you could be also jealous because he didn't need to make 5 hours decompression.
No, and he kind of sat in there with his shorts on, eating his sandwiches, watching us dive BRITANIC. Yeah, sure enough, he will admit he was jealous of us outside. You know, you can count on one hand the amount of people that have circumnavigated that wreck on scooters. And likewise, we were super jealous looking at him through that submersible. And after our dive had finished, he still surfaced the same time as us. We had 6 hours of decompression. He spent another 5 hours on the wreck looking around and then just got out. no decompression. So am I jealous? Yeah, I think so.
Buongiorno, sono Gianmichele Iaria, istruttore subacqueo, vengo dall'Italia. All'interno di RESEX sono il direttore internazionale delle spedizioni. Cos'è RESEX? RESEX è un'iniziativa, un grande progetto che può permettere a chiunque di fare esplorazione subacquea o di proporre progetti di esplorazione subacquea. RESEX nasce dall'idea appunto di cercare di divulgare, di fare esplorazione subacquea e di supportare la ricerca scientifica nel lavoro subacqueo. Gli scienziati normalmente hanno bisogno di noi subacquei abbiamo bisogno di loro e quindi ci possiamo mettere in connessione con questi progetti. Il primo progetto RESEX è stato svolto a Napoli l'anno scorso, il 2016, col nome di Il Giardino delle Sirene. È stata fatta un'esplorazione in cui sono stati dettagliatamente ritrovati un relitto romano, un relitto carico di anfore, e un aereo della seconda guerra mondiale, un aereo tedesco, un Junker 52. Questo lavoro ha permesso di divulgare la conoscenza di questi due relitti e soprattutto di ottenere il permesso di poter fare immersioni sul relitto dell'aereo Junker 52. Purtroppo il relitto romano ancora è interdetto alle immersioni per i subacquei, quindi è chiuso dal punto di vista turistico, ma ci è stato promesso che nei prossimi 2 anni sarà aperto anche questo e quindi disponibile per i turisti subacquei di tutto il mondo.
Nazywam się Bartosz Kątny, jestem pracownikiem Uniwersytetu Warszawskiego, Instytutu Archeologii konkretnie. Z mojego punktu widzenia najważniejsze było to, żeby przekazać istotę tego, znaczy istotę, wagę z odkryć archeologicznych i to, żeby ich nie wydobywać na powierzchnię, tylko żeby je zostawiać na dnie, w odpowiedni sposób opisać, zabezpieczać i zgłosić, ale właśnie, żeby ich nie wyrywać z tak zwanego kontekstu archeologicznego, czyli nie podejmować z dna, zostawić je tam, opisać w takim stanie, w jakim są, oznaczyć i zgłosić. Natomiast dla widzów myślę, że bardziej atrakcyjne było zaznajomienie się z tymi odkryciami podwodnymi, czyli z tymi dłubankami, pomostami, palami itd. Czyli z stanowiskami ofiarnymi też, bo i takie stanowisko prezentowałem, to jest takie najciekawsze z badań prowadzonych pod wodą przez Uniwersytet Warszawski. Myślę tutaj o odkryciu w miejscowości Lubanowo, gdzie jest znalezione miejsce ofiarne z I-II wieku po Chrystusie, w którym miejscowa ludność germańska składała broń zdobytą na pokonanym przeciwniku, najpierw ją niszcząc, łamiąc, opalając, a następnie wrzucając do wody, ofiarując swoim bóstwom. Chciałem też pokazać oprócz tego, jakie to są stanowiska, jakie to są obiekty, a wśród nich dłubanki, czyli łodzie jednopienne, pale od przepraw mostowych albo jakichś założeń w postaci przystani, czy też po prostu wraków łodzi i naświetlić też aspekty prawne, które z tym są związane, to znaczy czy zgłaszać te odkrycia, komu zgłaszać te odkrycia, jak też zabezpieczać je pod wodą i jak wstępnie opisywać.
So, tell me about this project, how it began.
Well, it's been going on for a number of years, for close to 10 years, but this particular season is based on a friendship and a working relationship that started at the first Shipwreck Festival in Woods that I attended, where I met Kari and Imi. And together we developed this idea of doing 3D photogrammetry in Malta.
And you was working on the shipwreck that belonged to the famous Phoenicians. Why Phoenicians? Why are they so interesting?
They are interesting because they are enigmatic, they are mysterious. Everybody has heard of the Phoenicians as these fantastic traders. Everybody knows that the Phoenicians sailed throughout the Mediterranean and even into Britain to buy tin. And yet we have never found a shipwreck that represents this kind of trade of buying in one place and moving to the other. So this is a fantastic opportunity for us to really get to understand this form of Phoenician trade.
It was pretty deep. It was 110 meters, so exploration was really hard. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, to explore a site at 110 meters takes a lot of planning. So I found a lot of support from colleagues with regard to the planning, the logistical planning. And the depth of the site also makes it, gives us a short time to explore. So we only had a maximum of 15 minutes on the site, but we found that we can actually work in those 15 minutes. You know, with the system that we have developed for recording the site, we found that we can be very efficient with the time.
When will we be able to see all those beautiful objects in the museum?
Well, it's a good question, because at the moment the objects are literally on their way to the European Parliament in Brussels, where there will be a short exhibition in the first week of March. Okay, and then eventually they will end up in the new Museum of Gozo, which is opening in 4 years' time. And we have a working agreement, a working relationship with the museum authorities of Malta, Heritage Malta, that eventually, the more we excavate, the more objects are going to end up on display in this museum.
You are interested mainly in ancient shipwrecks, but one of the shipwrecks that you made your research on is very, very special one.
Yes, the Antikythera shipwreck. It dates to the 1st century BC. It sank off the Greek island of Antikythera. It was discovered in 1900, and it's been worked since 1900, in 1953, 1976 by Jacques Cousteau, and since 2012 by our team with the Greek Ministry of Culture.
You are using absolutely incredible equipment. Can you tell us a little bit, for the divers it's very exciting to have all the toys that you are using.
This shipwreck's so important and so exciting that it really allows us to focus a lot of attention and raise big budgets to support the operation. So we're trying to apply everything we can to extract information. That means technical diving, certainly. We've brought the atmospheric diving system, the exosuit, 1 year. We've used autonomous underwater vehicles and remotely operated vehicles. We've custom-built equipment just to answer questions on this shipwreck. So it's a bit like a playground for underwater archaeology and diving.
So what is the most important question about this shipwreck?
The wreck's fascinating, but for me the driving question is, who were the people on board? So we see from their luxury goods that there must have been very high status individuals on board. But now with the human skeleton, we can do some DNA analysis and really figure out who was on board. The men, possibly the women, where they came from. Were they Africans? Were they from Europe? Were they from Asia? So this is exciting.
Will we be able to also know something more about the origin of the famous mechanism that sometimes is referred to as the first computer on the planet?
Well, you never know what could come out of this shipwreck. Every dive is delivering something really interesting, often things we've never seen before. So the Antikythera mechanism came from this shipwreck. Who knows what else is down there? Could there be another mechanism? Might we find more pieces of this mechanism? Might we find things that have drifted out of memory over the last 2,000 years? Possibly automata, these mechanical machines, these self-driven sort of mechanical puppets. Who knows what could be down there? It's exciting to think about.
Which one of the pieces that you recovered is your favorite one?
Well, it's tough to say. This defensive weapon, the dolphin, has my imagination. but also the bone flute, the tibia flute. I think that's quite evocative. So you can imagine, sort of like the wreck of Titanic, as the band played on the fantail as the ship sank, you might imagine a piper, a flautist, playing a song as the Antikythera ship met its demise.
Jesteśmy na 7. edycji festiwalu Nurkowania Wrakowego. Celowo nie mówię łódzkiego, ponieważ przenieśliśmy się z imprezą do Warszawy. Tym razem doszliśmy do wniosku, że chcemy zrobić więcej prezentacji, bardziej ciekawych i przez to dotrzeć do większej grupy nurków, którzy chcieliby posłuchać ciekawych prelekcji. Mamy również prelekcje, prezentacje typowo historyczne. Zaprosiliśmy kilku historyków, archeologów, także nie tylko związane typowo z samymi wrakami, ale również związane z historią wraków.
Następna edycja, 8. edycja festiwalu odbędzie się oczywiście w Warszawie na Uniwersytecie Warszawskim, z tym, że nie w przyszłym roku, ale za 2 lata. Za 2 lata przechodzimy na system dwuletni. Korzystając z tych możliwości, wszystkich zapraszam na 8. edycję festiwalu, która odbędzie się w 2019 roku w lutym na Uniwersytecie Warszawskim. Dziękuję.